Hi everyone, I'm here today with
Kendall.
and she was very kind. I asked her if she would be in my video for this podcast about local community, and she was the first person to actually say yes there and then. Other places I've asked, they've said come back tomorrow, the manager's not in, so once you've spoken to the manager, lift them an email, lift them a call, or we give them the message, come back tomorrow and you can do it then. So yeah, I'm really happy that you've come here today to actually be a part of the video. Like, she was just minding her business, drinking her drink. And I just come over and I was just like, please, like, I need somebody to be in my video today because I've just wasted all this time getting ready and everything. So
happy to be involved.
Thank you. Like, what did you tell me earlier?
I was actually meant to be at a job interview, but I went round to get it all started, and the guy who was actually interviewing has gone out on a work call out.
Look,
so I'm currently waiting for them to get back to me on a reschedule.
Well, I hope you get what you're looking for with that.
Thank you.
All the best with that. But that is divine timing right there, because I was running around all different shops. Everyone kept saying the same thing, come back tomorrow. And then I come into this Wetherspoons because it was my last resort, my last option, and she said yes. So thanks again. We're going to start with the questions now. So the first question was, I have to remember now because I'm a bit... If there was something you could change about your local community, what would it be?
I think I'd like it if they could be a bit more open to change. A lot of them are very stuck in their ways. They like things the way they have been for years.
Yeah.
And I suppose for the older generation, that'd be fine because that's all they've known, that's what's worked for them. But I think for the newer generations coming in, they could do with some things changing and a lot of things growing and adapting and evolving to make it better for our futures.
I love that answer. Thank you so much. Okay. What is your current job position?
I currently work as bar staff at two different pubs.
And how do you find it?
It's a bit iffy. It depends on the day, depends on the clientele. Sometimes you can really love what you're doing, but other days you could wish to be doing anything else.
Like, so to follow up with that answer, what do you feel like your job brings to the community? Like, how do you feel like it affects your locals?
I think bar work is very under-evaluated for what it actually can contribute, because a lot of people will look at it and they'll just think, oh, you're just pouring pints, you're just serving spirits, this, that and the other. But obviously a lot of people will use it to get out, they'll use it to get things off their mind, and it's one of those, it very much melds the community together, I think.
Yeah.
I'll say that very biased. Obviously, if you don't drink, you wouldn't get the community from it.
Yeah.
But you see the same people all the time, you get to know them, you learn about their families, what's going on with them. It's a really nice way to get to know people.
That's a lovely answer. Thank you for that.
Thank you.
If there were more social events in your local area, would you attend to build more of a community with your local residents?
I think it could definitely be a good way to interact with more people.
Yeah. Do you have any ideas specifically?
They do a few, don't they? Like they do the Black Country Music Festival at Himley Hall every summer, and they do like the Summerfest down Stourbridge. Okay. And it's a really good family event. And honestly, if we had more things like that on the regular, like seasonally throughout the year, that'd be a great way to push it and keep the consistency going and knowing that the opportunities are there.
That's why I wanted to, I'm so glad you answered like that, because I knew when you said about the fireworks and stuff, I was like, yeah, but that's so far away in between like the spaces that we have in the everyday week. Like, we have a lot of stresses and a lot of pressures as, mothers and fathers, children, and we're all trying to get somewhere in life. We're all trying to make a living, and especially in the economy now after inflation and everything, I feel like people are feeling too afraid to say, oh yeah, I have struggled this month, or I have struggled this week, or with this and that. And I just want to be able to speak without being judged, or have, I don't want my own result to release how I'm feeling is to go to a local bar or something to get drunk and release it. I want to be able to just talk about it in a social setting without feeling judged. Do you know what I mean? So
I think it'd definitely be nice to have more options available, like all throughout the year. Yeah. Because like Stourbridge is awesome. Okay. And anything they do at Himley, that's great. It's always a great turnout. When they do the fireworks, it's fantastic. Everyone loves it. But they're seasonally stuck. You don't really get a lot of things going on in the winter. You don't get much going on in spring. It's all summer, autumn. And I think if we had more going on throughout the rest of the year, it'd make a whole lot of difference.
Thank you so much for that. So now the video is going to come to a swift end, Kendall, but I'm really happy that you've joined this video with me to share your thoughts and feelings about this local community. The last question I will ask you is, do you think your vote counts?
I think anyone's vote counts if they make the effort to submit it. Because one vote could be the difference between a different party getting in charge, it could be the difference between a new local MP, some changes being made in the policies. That one vote could change anything. And people who say they won't vote because it won't change anything, I absolutely think that's an irrelevant point, and I absolutely think everyone should vote if they can.
I respect your thoughts and feelings about this. So with this, it's a very this and that, both
absolutely,
sides, isn't it? So I wanted to say, do you believe that whoever manages and sorts out the votes and the decision, do you feel like they're tampered ever?
I think when I was younger, I'd probably say they wouldn't have been, because obviously you're young, naive, you don't know anything. And like the way of the world, you might think, no, they'd never do that, because you wouldn't want to think they'd do that. And I absolutely think that's how my mind worked when I was younger. I'd never have thought. But then, in slight unrelated to our government, but more so over in the US,
I knew you was going to say that.
With everything that happened with the balloting over there when it was proven and it all came out, and with how closely tied the US are to us and how influential their governments
can be. And also Israel.
Absolutely, with how influential like global events and states of the world and governments and policies and this, that and the other, with how closely tied we are overseas now, I wouldn't put it past them. I'm not going to say if they would or if they wouldn't, because pointing fingers, it just scares everyone.
Yeah, I mean, not behind closed doors, so we don't actually know, but...
I'd never say they would, but I'd never say they wouldn't, because how would I know?
Exactly. I really love those responses from you today. Thank you so much for talking with me today and being a part of my podcast. It's been a pleasure getting to know more about you, and we'll see you next time.
Of course, thank you.
Bye-bye.